How did you realize your parents were failing you? I was 13 when I discovered I was severely allergic to shellfish. Not during some family dinner or doctor's visit. During lunch at school when my friend Jake shared his mom's leftover shrimp fried rice. Within minutes, my throat started closing. My face swelled like a balloon. I couldn't breathe. Kids were screaming for help as I collapsed in the cafeteria. The school nurse, Mrs. Smith, found me turning blue. She jabbed an EpiPen into my leg and called 911. While we waited for the ambulance, she held my hand and kept saying, "You're going to be okay, sweetheart. I've got you." She also called my parents. The paramedics arrived first. They were amazing. Professional, calm, reassuring. They got an IV in my arm, oxygen mask on my face, and loaded me into the ambulance. The whole time, one paramedic named David kept cracking jokes to keep me calm. You know what they say about shellfish," he grinned. "They're pretty shellfish creatures. Won't even let you eat them without making a fuss." I actually laughed through my oxygen mask. We got to the hospital. The ER doctor, Dr. Kim, took one look at me and immediately started treatment. Steroids, more epinephrine, the works. She explained everything she was doing and why. "This is serious, but very treatable. You're going to be fine." 3 hours later, I was stable and breathing normally. The doctor said I was lucky Mrs. Smith acted so fast, or I could have died. That's when my parents finally showed up. Dad walked in first, checking his watch. Mom followed, looking annoyed. "How long is this going to take?" Dad asked the doctor. "We had to leave work." Dr. Kim looked stunned. "Your child nearly died from anaphylactic shock. We need to discuss." "Nearly died?" Mom rolled her eyes. "He's fine now, right?" Kids are so dramatic these days. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Dr. Kim tried again. "He needs to carry an EpiPen at all times. This is a life-threatening allergy." "EpiPens are expensive," Dad interrupted. "Can't he just avoid seafood?" The doctor stared at them like they were aliens. "Sir, accidental exposure happens. Your son needs emergency medication." "Look," Mom said, "we'll be more careful about food, but we're not spending hundreds on some pen he might never use." Mrs. Smith, who had been quietly sitting with me this whole time, finally spoke up. "I'll make sure he has one at school." My parents looked at her like she was overstepping. "That's not necessary," Dad said. "We know our kid." "Actually," Mrs. Smith stood up, "I don't think you do." The tension in the room was thick. She continued, "Your son almost died today. I watched him turn blue. I held his hand while he couldn't breathe. And you're worried about missing work and spending money?" Mom's face turned red. "Excuse me, but no," Mrs. Smith cut her off. "3 strangers in this room saved your child's life today. Me, the paramedics, and Dr. Kim. And we're still here, making sure he's okay. Where were you?" Dr. Kim nodded. "I'm required to file a report when parents refuse necessary medical equipment for their children." My parents' attitude changed real quick. "We never said we refused," Dad backpedaled. "We just wanted to understand the options." But I had heard everything, crystal clear. They bought the EpiPen that day, but only after being threatened with a CPS report. 6 months later, Mrs. Smith left the school district. On her last day, she pulled me aside and handed me 3 EpiPens she'd bought with her own money. "Keep one in your backpack, one at home, and one with a trusted friend," she said. "Don't rely on anyone else to keep you safe." I hugged her and cried. She was the first adult who had ever put my safety before their convenience. My parents never asked if I was okay after that day, never checked if I had my EpiPen, never researched food allergies, or learned to read ingredient labels. But Mrs. Smith sent me care packages at college with allergy-safe snacks and handwritten notes reminding me to stay vigilant. I still carry those EpiPens today, 15 years later. And I think about her every single time I use one, because I learned that day that some people become parents and others become protectors. And sometimes the people who love you most aren't the ones who made you.